Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you all doing? Welcome to Monica's chat room. My name is Monica Ngozi. Welcome. Today, I'm gonna continue on the series "What Fuels Negativity in a Relationship." So I think this one is gonna be episode 4 in this series. So today I'm gonna be talking about projection of past trauma in the new relationship. Okay, so projection of past trauma affects relationships in different ways. One can get away from the trauma, but the aftermath still follows the person wherever they go, you know, until the person goes through healing, until the person gets something and actually embracing it so that you can be better, So, yeah, so projection, let's look at some of the effects and how it affects relationships. Okay, so we talk about projection of trauma. uh we allow ourselves to feel or think, you know how we think within our relationships. It can lead to uh wrong interpretation. A person can become desperate to be seen or loved, depending on what type of trauma they've been through, particularly those who went through childhood trauma, where they felt like they were treated like an outcast, or they felt like an outcast amongst the rest of their siblings. For whatever reason they went through that. They can have that desperation to feel loved, to feel seen, and not to be judged. And that has its own risk, like walking into a narcissistic relationship due to that kind of inbuilt desperation. But we're not going to go into that today. So, mixing the past. This is another way you can affect relationships, okay? Mixing the past with the present. Like, let me just give an example of that. Say, you know, due to whatever happened in the past relationship. I'm just making up names, okay? I don't know anybody call these names. Like, say you dated John. You can, whatever you went through when you were with John, and then you're now with Mark, or you're now with Matthew, or whoever else you're with. But you tend to forget, when your current partner says something and he's just saying it with a clear mind, or she's saying it with a clear mind, because there are men who are also in a traumatic relationship, or they've been through a traumatic relationship, and it's the female partner who put them through that. It's not just women, but a higher percentage is women, much higher percentage is women who go through these kind of traumatic no trauma when it comes to relationships, marriage. So let's carry on with the example. They say something and they just don't mean any harm by it. They said it with a clear mind, but you start thinking, oh, that when John says the talks like this, it means this. Oh, you start interpreting. Oh, so do you mean, are you saying this? An innocent comment can just turn into explanation, turn into uh argument even, and just ruin the moment. So these are the kind of things, uh trauma projection and mixing the past with the present can lead to. As a matter of fact, it leads to it most of the time. um you start feeling defensive, something that can be talked about and just discussed, and forget about it. You're already, planning. You feel like you need to protect yourself. You start making plans. Oh, for him to do this, that it could lead to this, that, you just can't stop yourself. Then another thing is projection of trauma on others, to avoid self recognition, to avoid your own bad thoughts that you have in your head, the negative stories that you've made up in your head. For example, your partner is at work, he worked late or she worked late, and they come home late. Maybe their phone died even. And then they've come home, they're trying to explain to you, but you already imagined in your head that, okay, they're running an hour late, an hour and a half late. Oh, they've gone somewhere, they slept with someone. You can even go as far as thinking, oh, they slept with someone in the office. So that's why they're running late. Otherwise, why did I call you and you didn't answer? Why, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to tell you, but you already made up your story in your head and you're not listening. At the end of the day, imagine if that kind of behavior reoccurs every time that happens. That is the cycle that you guys have to go through, and then maybe it takes days or few days before it gets rectified. At some point, someone is going to get tired, and is going to be the person who's always feeling like he has to explain and explain all the time, or she has to explain all the time. At the end of the day, someone is going to get tired, someone is going to get fed up, and it can just end up ruining that relationship. It could be someone who truly loves you so much, but you use your trauma projection to destroy something good that came into your life. So that's why it's very important to go through healing before going into relationship, because with this kind of example I just gave in terms of avoiding self-recognition, it would be easier if the person understand that, okay, these are the thoughts in my head, I'm the one thinking all these things. Come on, stop yourself and actually listen to what your partner is saying to you, or what your husband or what your wife is saying to you, rather than just put your bad thought onto them and just accuse them that that's what you're doing. You've already created the story in your head and you believe it. It doesn't matter what they say. You believe what you believe, and you're arguing based on that, or saying things, hurtful things based on that. So all in all, whatever trauma that you've been through and you haven't dealt with it, go and deal with it through therapy, or however, people can have therapy through God, through prayer. You can have therapy through a professional, or whatever way that you accept as a way of therapy that will work for you. Go and have it done. Go through the process of healing before being open to relationships, so that you get it right after you get healed, and you won't lose someone who truly loves you because of trauma projection. Okay, this is all I've got to say to you today. Thank you for coming here in Monique's chat room to listen to me. I'll speak to you again in a few days. Bye-bye.
Real life, real talk at your pace. Monique's True, your safe space. Real life, real talk at your pace. Monique's True, your safe space. Real life, real talk